Alright, today we're going to look at the 1-mana blue creature tier list. We're going to look at all the 1-mana blue creatures. I don't even know if there's enough blue creatures to fill up an hour, but I count on the coffee brew to help me. Alright, we're going to start off with Slitherblade. It's a 1 blue 1/2 Naga rogue, and Slitherblade can't be blocked. Now, this actually is a card that is rising up in the Pauper community in the mono blue decks that want to be able to get in the ninjutsu, get an unblockable creature, and that is what the Slitherblade does. And it also dodges cards like Lava Dart, so it's a reasonable one drop that doesn't get sniped off by like 1 damage spells. So Slitherblade, I don't want to say you're great or anything, like, you know, there's a lot of better cards out there. Although I might have to change my evaluation of all these cards. I'm going to give it, I think, a B. Maybe later on in the day we'll give it an A. Maybe. Oh, look at Flow Needle with the Bogles. Oh my goodness. Alright, that one's actually a really good one. Sort of. Alright, Bogle. Alright, no, you mean Slippery. It's not the actual name. Slippery Bogle. Now, technically a hybrid, but I will make some exceptions today. Alright, so we have a hybrid blue-green 1/1 beast with hexproof. And it is a beast! It sees a lot of play in any decks using auras. So you just slap an aura on this thing. You know, auras are probably the weakest card type in all of Magic the Gathering. It's so easy to undermine. Just kill the creature that you target with the aura. The auras are usually really underwhelming. They don't do a whole lot. You need to combine it with a lot more auras in order to make it useful. And the answer to that problem is the Slippery Bogle. Because with hexproof, you can target the creature, but your opponents can't target the creature. No. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. So you suit up this creature with as many auras as you want, as many auras as you can, and smash in your opponent for as much damage as you can. Card has seen modern play, almost won a modern championship. Almost. Close but no cigar. So it actually is, I think this is a B. It's a really good creature, but the downside is this card is always put in these janky decks. Like, I can't say like any of these decks that Slippery Bogle is put in are like super top tier. It's usually a little bit on the janky side. Bogle's never been, actually I shouldn't say it's never been tier 1. It's had tier 1 stats a few times, but it's so vulnerable. Like, if you want to beat a Bogle deck, you can just smash them with, like, I don't know, engineered explosives, blast zone, blast that stupid thing away. So anyway, it's a build around card. You like build around cards? There's the #1 build around card. Marcelo! Oh boy, do I miss the super chats. Delver of Secrets. It's no secret that Delver of Secrets is one of the best I want the original Delver of Secrets. One of the best blue drops in the history of Magic the Gathering. The moment that it was printed, it basically the deck was built around itself. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card. If it's an instant or sorcery card, transform Delver of Secrets from a 1/1 pathetic human wizard that likes to cage up insects, which I don't even think are even, like, in my opinion, you gotta put in some sort of, I don't know, fish tank or something. They can squeeze out of those cages. It turns into a 3/2 bug of himself with flying. The human insect. So, Delver can be human and can also be insect at the same time. Where are we gonna rank the Delver? So here's the deal. Traditionally, Delver of Secrets has been one of the best decks in Magic history. On the other hand, recently it's being pushed out by a lot of better 1-drops, but you know what? I think we have to pay tribute to the Delver. This is an S tier card. Doesn't it also like cease playing standard? I'm not too sure. The Blue Bomber! Can't forget about my boy Head-Drawn Crab. You like to mill people, do you? There's some mill. Yeah, I have crabs in my mind. Oh, God. You people and your crabs. Everyone loves crabs. Unless you were partying the last night, then nobody wants crabs. All right, blue 0-2 crab landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. And truth be told, this is a very playable archetype, the mill archetype. In Modern, it is a deck you have to be prepared for. If you're not prepared for it, well, okay, then lose to it. It's a not like tier 1 or anything, but this in combination with, what's the other crab? God, crabs. Well, hopefully not. We're talking about creatures today, Ryan. We had a show for the 1-mana non-creatures. It's over. Ruin Crab. The partner in crime with these 2 crabs. They combine to make the Mega Crab and mill your opponents for Mega Millions. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 3 cards. So the other one, they're basically the same thing if you want to mill your opponent. This one is technically better because you can mill yourself, and it has seen play in like Vengevine lists where you play the Hedron Crab, you play a fetch line, mill yourself, crack the fetch line, mill yourself again. So maybe we can separate them. Maybe Hedron Crab is a little bit better than the Ruin Crab, but I think they're on par with each other. I'm going to give them A's. Wouldn't say this is the most overwhelming, powerful blue creature I've ever seen, but not to be underestimated. They're going to get you with their pincers. They're going to get you with their pincers. All right, so we have 2 crabs, 2 A grades. MTG Ectoplasm. How about Spectral Sailor? It's no peekaboo, no boo sheet. MTG Ectoplasm, host of the MTG Ectoplasm podcast on spirits. He wants his peekaboo. He asked... Okay, so I just came back from Magic 30 in Philadelphia. He went straight up to Mark Rosewater and Gavin Verhey asking, hey, can we have a 1-drop spirit called Peekaboo, where it's just like a 1-drop flyer that looks at the opponent's hand and draws a card? What do you guys think? Do you think that would be broken, or would that be okay for the spirit deck? Who wouldn't want that for spirits? All right, let's look at Spectral Sailor. No, it's no peekaboo, but it's a sailor. You're gonna draw some cards anyway, the old-fashioned way. So 1 blue, spirit, pirate, 1/1, flash and flying. Oh, I gotta keep in mind that it's a pirate. There's some like cards like Fiery Cannonade that, like, I think hit all non-pirates, so they don't hit my Spectral Sailor. And for 1 blue, 3 generic, you draw a card. I draw a lot of cards off of this. I was so, you know, this looks really clunky, this ability, but you know what? In the late game, and especially with the way Spirits plays, with a little bit of control action, being patient, holding up them counter spells. If they don't do anything, I'll just take a card. Yep, easily sink 4 mana to this thing. Super happy about that. All right, so this, that being said, it has seen play in mono blue lists. It has seen play in spirit lists, but I don't think it's A tier. Sorry, I don't think it's S tier. I think it's just a very, very, very good card. It is a very good card. Do you have any idea when the next time I'd lose a match would be if I had that in Pioneer? Yeah, I mean, we would never lose any matches anymore ever again. Robert with the super chat. Morning, everyone. Am I missing a super chat? Okay, sorry, guys. Okay, I'm gonna go back. Sorry, Herbert. Okay, well, let's do this in order. Let's do this in order. Okay, we're gonna go to Herbert first. This caller. That card's good. That card's very good. It's a sideboard card, but it hits hard. 1 blue, sack it until end of turn if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exiled instead. That is a very, very, very powerful ability. Oh, you want to just Court of Calling into play? Well, no. Eldritch Evolution? No. Creativity? No. You don't get any of that. So Mistcaller is actually an insanely busted 1-drop against the right decks. It's a sideboard card for sure, but I do think that's an S tier card. I think that's S tier. That'd be too strong. Well, it's not too strong because it's a sideboard card, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay, we got Robert. Give you an even bigger super chat song. Morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I have a standard deck that loves Cobbled Lancer. The hell is that? Cobbled Lancer. What the... Oh, hold on. Do they have 2 copies? They do have 2 copies. It was like too strong the first time around. They had to water it down in alchemy. Okay, what the hell is going on here? So 1 blue, or no, or did they make it stronger in alchemy? As an additional cost to cast this spell, exile a creature card from your graveyard. Okay. Pay a blue 3 generic, exile Cobbled Lancer from your graveyard, draw a card. That's terrible. Oh, wait a minute. It's a 1 blue 3/3. Oh, that's not bad. 1 blue 3/3? You have to get rid of something from your graveyard. That's not easy. Street Wraith, maybe? Turn 1 Street Wraith, then Cobbled Lancer. And you get to draw cards? Oh, no, you can only draw a card when it's dead. I have no idea how good or bad this thing is. But it looks like they... I can't tell. Did they water it down in alchemy, or did they make it stronger? As an additional cost to cast this spell, exile a creature card from your graveyard. Pay a blue 1 generic, exile this from your graveyard, draw... Wow, they made it better! Holy crap. Alright. I'm giving it a B. I don't know what this card looks like in action. It's still too janky for me. Too much jank. You have to exile something. You have to exile a creature card from your graveyard, so it's not really a 1-drop. It costs 1 mana, but it's not going to get played on turn 1. Alright, we got the blue bomber here. There. Did you just describe a Gitaxian probe, look at hand and draw a card? I absolutely did. Peekaboo. 1 blue. It's not free. You got to pay a mana, but you do get a 1/1 flying creature that looks at the hand. It's a peek, because there is an actual card called Peek that does something similar to that. Or sorry, it does that, but in instant form. Black Lance Geo, thank you very much for the super chat. What card did you suggest, though? Glade Rider Sliver. Oh, that's a good one. Now, it's a little restricted to the Sliver deck, because it gives all slivers... Gale Rider? Oh, it's Gale Rider. That's fine. Okay, 1 blue, 1/1 sliver creatures you control have flying. Oh! No, it's only yours that you control, but you still have to be a sliver player. That's insane. I wish I had a merfolk that just said, that was for 1 mana. Okay, everything has evasion. I mean, sure, yeah, things with flying can block this thing, but it's not very likely. Flying is like one of the most broken mechanics in Magic the Gathering. We just take it for granted at this point. Generally, I mean, flying is like Shadow, but just like way more popular. Oh, and I guess it's a Shadow creature can block non-shadows. But it's a good card. It's a good card. I'm going to give it the A. We're going to give it the A treatment. It deserves the A treatment. A treatment, A tier is going to get clogged up really quickly. OG Merfolk of the Pearl Trident. Oh, God. Merfolk of the Pearl Trident. Not Master of the Pearl Trident. This is just Merfolk of the Pearl Trident. The poor 1 mana 1/1. This is terrible. It does nothing else. This is a vanilla creature outside of that. I don't know if there's worse. Should I give it C tier only because there's like, you know, you can build a deck around Merfolk and at least buff this thing. It won't be that bad. But at the same time, it's pretty bad. It doesn't do anything. Straight to D tier you go. We got Them with Mausoleum Wanderer. I'm surprised MTG Ectoplasm didn't choose to name this one. Mausoleum Wanderer. This is the Curse Catcher on crack. This is one... Okay, get this. Get what this card does. Okay, do you know what? We're going to have to wait on that. This is one of the best 1-drops, I think, in the game. And we will explain why that is. So, after talking about our sponsor, FusionGamingOnline.com, deal of the week this week, save 15% off mystery booster singles and sealed product. So if you're fine with this little planeswalker symbol on the bottom left corner, with the rest of the card looking and doing the same thing, you can get 15% off those cards at FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu, though, at checkout for an additional 5% off, and it also supports the channel. So let them know I sent you. And we're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. I went 5-2 twice in my secret lair showdown events at MagicCon 30 because I was practicing all variations of spirit decks, mono, blue, bant, and Azorius when I was renting with mana traders. That's the thing. I can play more decks, but I also can play more variations of decks of the same thing. And I decided on Azorius. And you can play test for your next event by renting using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_3RS. Alright, now let's explain why. Mausoleum Wanderer is busted. This card is absolutely busted. One mana, 1/1 flyer. Okay, so it's not just a 1/1. And it not just flies. Like, hold on, what? We just did Merfolk of the Pearl Trident. Okay, get this. This is a 1 mana, 1/1 that does nothing. It's on the ground. It's even lower than the ground. It's in the water. This one, it flies, but there's more. When it enters the battlefield under your control, Mausoleum Wanderer gets +1/+1 until end of turn. That's insane! That's absolutely insane. So you can buff it up for power every single time that you put a creature in play. And then you can sack the Mausoleum Wanderer, counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays X, where X is Mausoleum Wanderer's power. So if they go for any sort of combo kill, instant or sorcery, any sort of big spell, you can flash creatures in play, buff it up, or have Lords just buff it up in general, then sack the Wanderer to counter it. Mausoleum Wanderer is... I didn't even recognize how incredibly broken this was when the set came out. I was like, this is whatever. And then I realized this is like way better than any other like blue 1-drop. It's power and its utility and its evasion. It's got it all. Spirit Squad is like hard to agree. Mausoleum Wanderer is straight up absurd. Okay, yo, little Ted, Flying Men, 1/1 flyer for 1 blue. Oh, so we got an upgrade from Merfolk of the Pearl Trident. You're telling me? Flying Men. Okay, I'm happy that I put Merfolk of the Pearl Trident at D tier. Flying Man, literally just 1 mana, 1/1 flyer. It's human. Get them human synergies. What's the flavor text? Safia clapped her hands and 20 flying men appeared at her side, each well trained in the art of combat. Also the art of flying carpet. What's the lore behind the flying carpet? That's a bit bizarre. Alright. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put you slightly above the Merfolk of the Pearl Trident. You're not... I mean, probably it belongs there too, but it's literally better. It's a 1/1 with flying instead of 1/1 do nothing. That's the difference. Okay, we got more super chats. We got Pernurter. Tide Shaper for when that Spreading Seas refuses to show up. Tide Shaper is amazing. I feel a little sheepish here, but I totally forgot this card existed when making this tier list. I was thinking a bunch of cards in my head, many mentioned already, but I forgot about Tide Shaper. Okay, we got 1/1. We got a 1/1 for 1 Merfolk Wizard with kicker of 1. So when Tide Shaper enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, target land becomes an island for as long as Tide Shaper remains on the battlefield. That is so relevant anywhere. Even in Commander, think of all the stupid non-basic lands you want to shut down. You will shut them down. It's like a wasteland on a creature. Plus you give them an island. So it's really good for the Merfolk decks because that enables their island walk, or it mana screws people. If they got a Jund Triome in play, you just turn it into an island. You know they don't need that island. They don't want an island. But you turn it into an island anyway. What else does this card do? If they just have an island in play, it gets +1/+1, so it's effectively a 1 mana 2/2 creature. You shut down Tron. You shut down Urza's Saga. It blows up Urza's Saga. Occasionally it can fix your mana. This actually is a really, really good card. It is going... I hope I don't look biased. Okay, I only have 2 Merfolk in S tier so far. I'm starting to look a little biased here. I got them Spirits and Bogles and Crabs over in A tier. I got 2 Merfolk up here. But I got a Merfolk down here, okay? I'm being objective. I know when the Merfolk is really good and when it's stone cold garbage. So you don't be saying I'm being, what's it called? Biased around here. Okay, we got... Is merchant ship a real thing? Merchant ship. 1 blue, 0 2. If... I'm just going to read the Oracle text. Merchant ship can't attack unless defending player controls an island. I don't even know why it would attack. It doesn't do anything. Whenever merchant ship attacks and isn't blocked, you gain 2 life. That is very unusual on a blue card. And we control no islands, sacrifice merchant ship. The coast is run dry. I don't think it's steaming hot garbage, but I also don't think it's particularly useful. I'm going to put in the B tier. You gain 2 life every single time you can attack. For nothing, effectively. We got Alpha Nerd here. With the Lighthouse Chronologist. Is that really a 1-drop? Lighthouse. Oh. Ah. Not. Oh, I'm going to give you the super buzzer. This is 2 mana. Okay, you wait for the 2 mana cards. One day we're going to do the 2 mana cards. We're on 1 mana cards today. Okay, we got the Black Gamma. Thank you very much for the super chat. Curse Catcher. Curse Catcher, one of them cards. 1 blue, 1/1. Sack it. Counter an instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays 1. They used to call it the Blue Thalia because it effectively took the spot of Thalia. Like for the blue decks. Tax those cards by 1 mana. But there was a problem. One day Thalia wasn't that good, and neither was Curse Catcher. It's still not bad for all the other 1-drops, but it's just not what it used to be. Although I have to admit, I don't really want to put in this B tier. You know what? We're going to put this thing down here. We're going to put the ship with the flying men. We're going to put the Curse Catcher in B tier. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think it's crappier than all these other cards, to be honest. Okay, what do we got? We got Eric Kusu with the super chat. Moth Dust Changeling. Man, if I got a penny for every single time someone wanted me to play with Moth Dust Changeling, I'd probably have $1 by now. 1 blue, 1/1 shapeshifter. Changeling, it's every creature type, so hey. Creature decks, eat your hearts out. Tap an untapped creature you control. Moth Dust Changeling gains flying until end of turn. So it's almost like a smuggler's copter. You know, you tap an untapped creature you control. You accrue the creature to fly. But it's not that good. Like I don't know any deck that's ever like made use out of this card. So we're gonna put B as like playables, barely playables, and we're gonna put C as not playables. Like I've never seen Moth Dust Changeling have any competitive play. Correct me if I'm wrong out there. All right, let's take some suggestions from chat. We got the Vortex Elemental. I remember looking at this card really hard. How do I make this work? I want to make this work. We're going to make this work. Okay, this card doesn't work. 1 blue, 0/1. It's an elemental. Spend a blue. Put Vortex Elemental in each creature blocking or blocked by it on top of their owner's libraries. Then those players shuffle their libraries. Why didn't they just say shuffle into their owner's libraries? Why make it complicated? Whatever. Blue, blue, 3 generic. Target creature blocks Vortex Elemental this turn if able. I was playing Mono Blue Devotion at the time in Standard, and card looked playable. But the longer I looked at it, the more I realized this is unplayable. I guess I'll give it a C. It's not that bad. It's not Merfolk of the Pearl Trident bad around here. Bred with the Electric Eel. What the hell is this? Alright, when Electric Eel enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to you. That doesn't sound good. Red, red. Electric Eel gets +2/+0 until end of turn and deals 1 damage to you. That's terrible. That's very, very, very bad. I deal damage. It's like some weird draft card. You need to be hard in red and blue at the same time. Look at that big fish. Alright, we found a buddy for the Merfolk of the Pearl Trident. Don't damage each other. Don't be damaging each other. Ascendant Spirit from Lucas. This card is not bad. It's also not great. Okay, 1 blue, 1/1. It's a spirit. It's a snow creature too. For snow, Ascendant Spirit becomes a spirit warrior with base power and toughness 2/3. Now here's the great thing about these abilities. You can use them at instant speed. So if you don't, you can pass the turn. If you don't use your mana, just start growing this stupid thing. And then for blue, 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 if Ascendant Spirit is a warrior, put a flying counter on it, and it becomes a spirit warrior angel with base power and toughness 4/4. Weirdly enough, it does not have flying. What kind of angel is this? Then for snow, quadruple snow. If Ascendant Spirit is an angel, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and it gains whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Honestly, I very rarely get to that ability, and if you do, and it's still alive, it's just a house. It's incredibly, incredibly strong. Ascendant Spirit is a real card. A little clunky for top tier status, but I can give it the A tier status. I have no problem giving A tier to the Ascendant Spirit. Okay, Bogle, maybe we're gonna have to make it move you over. We need to make some space here. A tier about to get big. A lot of good cards in blue. Ooh, I like that one. Judge is familiar. Technically crappier Curse Catcher, but it flies. Okay, so it's a 1/1 flyer. Sack Judge's Familiar, counter an instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays 1. And also one of the cutest arts in the game. However, they are very similar. So the benefit of Judge's Familiar over Curse Catcher is that Judge's Familiar will fly. The benefit of Curse Catcher over Judge's Familiar is that Curse Catcher is a merfolk, and there's a lot of merfolk synergy if you have enough merfolk. Did we do Fairy Seer? I guess not. Alright, we do Fairy Seer. Card is really popular in Pauper, especially in the Mono Blue Fairies deck, or Mono Blue Aggro, as some of them call it. It's a 1/1 flyer, enters the battlefield, scry 2, helps you find your land drops, helps stack spells on top of your library if you're playing Delver of Secrets. Just an all-around good utility card. You bounce it back to your hand with a ninja, and then you get that ability. Art is very creepy. Not a fan of the art. Probably my least favorite art in my Mono Blue Aggro deck. So I don't want to put it too high. Where are we at here? I'm not super in love with this. I don't think it's a super strong card. It sees play, I think, in one format, so I'm going to just give it a B. A B for now. Maybe the fairy decks will get better. This thing has more of a job. This guy's basically employed at only one company. He needs to be employed at more companies. And the value of this card is going to go up. Black Gamma with the $2. Thank you so much. Trusted Advisor. Fairies are creepy in oldie times. Okay. Trusted Advisor, 1 blue, 1 2. Your maximum hand size is increased by 2. Not very impressive. At the beginning of your upkeep, return a blue creature you control to its owner's hand. Holy crap! That is bad! That is just bad. At the beginning of your upkeep, return a blue creature, so you could return this guy, I guess. That is so terrible. D tier. Straight to the D tier. I can't help but feel, the super chat. Oh, there's a correlation between super chats and D, like the C and D tier. You have to return. You have to return. There's nothing you can do about it. Lucas with Pteramander. Or maybe it's Pteramander? Pteramander. I'm surprised this card doesn't see more play. It's not, like, it's good. It's a 1 mana 1/1 with flying with adapt 4 for 8 mana, but it costs 1 less to activate for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. It can turn into a 5/5 flyer, for crying out loud. I guess the problem is, like, Well, I don't know. Like, even before Murktide, like, this was legal for a very long time, even before Murktide, and just never saw any play. But I don't think it's terrible. It was like a tier 1 card in Standard at the time. I'm going to give it the B tier treatment. It can, in theory, be a 5/5 flyer. Very strong. Liquid Soulfly up here, defending the pride of the trusted advisor. That's not bad. Use creatures with good ETBs. That's not going to be enough. That's not good enough. That's still... You might as well just blink the damn thing. Bring it back into your hand and then replaying it. Ugh. Ugh. 2 thumbs down. We do Jace's Phantasm yet? Nope. Jace's Phantasm. And thanks for, you know, I met Tommy at Magic 30. It was quite amazing. Tommy's here for every single Coffee and MTG. I don't even know if he's ever missed one. All right, so 1 blue, 1/1 illusion flying. When Jace's Phantasm gets +4/+4, as long as an opponent has 10 or more cards in his or her graveyard. This is a great, you know, well, okay, this card used to be better, and I'll explain why. So before, the mill deck would have like 4 crabs, just a Hedron crab, not the Ruin crab. So with only 4 crabs in the mill deck, most people would just shave all their removal spells, because why do we need removal? There's only like 4 crabs, big deal. And then the mill players would take advantage of that and side in the Jace's Phantasm. Go on a little bit of a creature, an aggressive creature strategy. And by doing that, they would really get the upper hand. Nowadays, there's 8 crabs, and then people have to keep removal in their deck. Because otherwise, you're just stupid. You're just stupid. Like, you have to respect the Ruin crabs and the Hedron crabs, so... Or Hedron. How do you guys pronounce it? Hedron? Hedron? So Jace's Phantasm actually is quite crappy now. It used to be okay at the time. Like, it's a great sideboard strat. It's like a great switcheroo sideboard strategy. But not so much anymore. Oh, if it said you may return it, it would be great. Talking about trusted advisor again. If it said you may return it, it would be great. No. No. I don't think so. If it said you may return, it would be less bad, but still bad. This is a very bad creature. Oh my god. We got Approaching Calamity with the Cozy's Trickster. Oh yeah, that card. Man, do the Merfolk players want me to play with this thing. 1 blue, 1/1. Whenever an opponent shuffles his or her library, you can put a counter on Cozy's Trickster. Now, a lot of people think this thing is gas because, oh, people shuffle their library all the time. Not true. And the moment you play Cozy's Trickster, they'll crack all their fetch lands, and then they'll just play non-fetch lands, or they'll play fetch lands and not crack them until they deal with the Cozy's Trickster. So the deal is, if you want a 1-mana card to be good, to be impactful, to be powerful, it's got to be good in the earlier portions of the game. But then if your opponent has control over when they shuffle, they'll just shuffle on turns 4, 5, 6, and 7, which is much later, making Cozy's Trickster not as good. Making Cozy's Trickster actually quite irrelevant. And for that matter, I'm putting Cozy's Trickster in Phantasmal Illusion range. What's this thing, stupid thing called? Jace's Phantasm. Goat's trying so hard. Okay, well, okay. Will Het, please. I've been asking. You haven't been asking. You've been spamming. What the hell is this card? Will. You didn't even spell it right. Okay, you say one more. This is not a 1 blue 1. This is not a 1 blue 1 drop creature. Yeah, it's not. It's not even 1. You were spamming this. It wasn't even 1 mana. Oh my God, Herbert. All right, we got Herbert here. Blister Coil weird. Oh, that card. That card is jank, but it's really powerful. So it's a hybrid blue-red 1/1. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Blister Coil weird gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and you get to untap it. So it's essentially has vigilance in some way. I guess it's the old-fashioned prowess. So it's prowess for blue. You may cast an instant or sorcery spell. It gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Yeah, there's really nothing I can say about it. It's prowess. It's the blue prowess creature. It's not as good as the other prowess creatures, but hey, blue prowess creature is better than no prowess creature at all. I'm going to give it the A tier treatment. Because prowess is busted, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, Yoshu. Reading the stream title is tricky sometimes. It is for some people. Let's talk about the new guy. If it does delay fetch lands to 6 mana, isn't it delaying mana then? No, because if they have to... See, that's the thing about cards like this. Like, you're not preventing them from doing anything. If they have the option to fetch, then they will. They get to do the cost-benefit analysis. And they'll do their best not to fetch, but if fetching is better... If fetching is worth the cost of making Cozy's Trickster bigger, then they'll always do what's best for them. You know, you're not actually stopping them from doing anything. Okay, Earl of Squirrel with 1,000 Faced Shadow. I've never heard of this card. Oh, it's a new one. Okay, blue 1/1 human ninja with a pretty expensive ninjutsu of 4 mana, flying. Oh, when 1,000 Face Shadow enters the battlefield from your hand, if it's attacking, create a token that's a copy of another target attacking creature. The token enters the battlefield tapped and attacking. That's not terrible. I really don't know how this would be utilized, but that seemed like a lot of things that you did, and you get to keep the token, right? It's not until end of turn. Yeah, you get to keep the token for forever. All right, sounds good. 1,000 Faces of Shadow. We did Ascendant Spirit. Oh, Dem with the Cloudfin Raptor. This card's better than it looks, but it's still pretty pathetic. Okay, blue 0/1 flyer with Evolve, which means if its power, if you play a creature, and if either its power or if its toughness is larger than Cloudfin Raptor, you can put a counter, a +1/+1 counter on Cloudfin Raptor. So the advantage is Cloudfin Raptor gets big. Like, it will get big. You get this thing to a beefy 3/4 creature pretty reliably if you build your deck around it. Sometimes 4 or 5. So you actually get a lot of damage in with that Cloudfin Raptor. Okay, now the downside. This is an absolute steaming hot trash top deck. You top deck this thing, you feel like you want to put it back. Can I get a new card, please? So anyway, Cloudfin Raptor is very good in the opening stage of the game, even though it looks like turn 2 attacks for 1 generally, but then on turn 3 it'll attack for 2, turn 4 it'll attack for 3, and then it can still escalate from there. So where are we gonna put this Cloudfin Raptor? We're gonna put in the delicious B tier with Terramander and the rest of them. It's so sad to see Curse Catcher in this tier, but you know what? It belongs. It just belongs. Mario! Do I have a Mario sound effect for you? You didn't super chat, but that's okay. Mario Network Disruptor. One blue, 1/1, flying. When Network Disruptor enters the battlefield, tap target permanent. That's okay, I guess. Tap a permanent down. I'll give it a B tier treatment. I don't know. Maybe we put it lower. Yeah, you know, I've never seen. So the deal is, I'm gonna put B as like cards that are like competitive, but barely competitive, and then C will be like cards that I can see like have potential, but really have no home right now. Really, just don't have a home. Is that the Wandering One? What the hell is Wandering One again? Wandering One. Oh God, what the hell? It's a blue 1/1. Okay, so it's going to the Merfolk of the Pearl Trident tier. We got a tier for you, Wandering Ones. It's called the Merfolk of the Pearl Trident tier, with the electric eel and this old man that does nothing. Poxy's like, wait, we've made it this far without speaking of Bolduvian Shaman? Yeah. What's Bolduvian Shaman? Okay, big wall of text card. Tap, change the text of target white enchantment you control that doesn't have cumulative upkeep by replacing all instances of one word with another, and as cumulative upkeep. Holy crap, we found something worse. This is literally worse than Merfolk of the Pearl Trident. It's actually worse than anything here that deserves a tier of its own. The F tier. That's terrible. What an absolute garbage card. Word soup, and at the end it has cumulative upkeep. Trip Fontaine says there was a whole Spirit Tribal mechanic, Soul Shift. It was still horrible, though. Oh, the Secret Keeper. Card actually sees play. Merfolk, Secret Keeper. How many decks does this card see play? So it's a 1 blue, 0/4. Pretty underwhelming blocker. But its best ability is 1 blue sorcery. Target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. I know this is used to self-mill in some Vengevine decks. I don't know how many decks play this card though. Circle of Protection won games in the old. Yeah, but still, like, I'm not playing cumulative upkeep so you can prevent, so that you have that stupid thing online. This is a little bit tough between putting in the A tier and the B tier, because I know this sees a little bit of play, but not really. Yeah, we'll put it there anyway. Can I put it here with the Bogle? Yeah, put it with the Bogle. The Bogle and the Secret Keeper, the friends, they're buddies now. Why is Mystic Remora not a creature? Well, just not a creature. Christopher B. Godol Lurker! What is this thing? Oh yeah, the 1 mana 1/1 that can't be blocked. And it's got Megamorph. How does Megamorph work again? Cast the card. Okay, so you can put it down for as a 2/2 creature, but then you can turn it face. You can turn it face up anytime for its Megamorph cost and put a counter on it. Okay, so it becomes a 2/2 if you Megamorph it. Still pretty bad though. Delicious C tier. It's slightly worse than the Slitherblade, because at least Slitherblade already has an automatic 1/2 in it. Or maybe... okay, I'm going to stand by my gut. It's a C tier card. Holy crap, Richmond Dockhand. That's a card. This card might get better over time. Right now it's a bit awkward. It's a 1 blue, 1/2 island walk creature. Pay 1, tap target land. So it is a Richmond port. It can slow the opponent down, siphon their mana, make your opponent, force them to make some move. You can hit the land that's, you can tap down creature land, so if they go into the red zone with them Inkmoth Nexus, you tap it down. Richmond Dockhand is actually a pretty big powerhouse. I don't know if it's S tier worthy though. I guess though, you know, I look at all this other garbage on this list. We might as well put the Richmond Dockhand S tier. We did Flying Man already. Erwin Lopez, thanks so much for the super chat. Overwhelmed Apprentice. What is this? A blue 1/2 human wizard. When Overwhelmed Apprentice enters the battlefield, each opponent puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Then you scry 2. Oh! Enters battlefield, each opponent. Oh, it's only the opponents, not yourself. I don't know why we're, like, buffing our opponents' graveyards. It's not like we're milling them by much. It is a 1 mana 1/2. This card good anywhere? Is anyone using this in any deck, anywhere, whatsoever? I guess C tier. It's not. Oh, I guess it's Flying Man status. Flying Man status. We did Fairy Seer. Hapless Researcher. hell is this? 1 blue, 1/1. Hapless research. Sacrifice hapless researcher. Draw a card, then discard a card from your hand. That is good! It's like a faithless, not faithless looting, but a careful, it's like a weaker careful study on a creature. I guess the only problem is like it doesn't have synergy with whatever deck you're putting it in. Because either the deck is like creature based or it's like spell based, you know, combo based, graveyard based. But I like it. I'm gonna give it the B tier. I think draw a discard for nothing, costs you nothing, is good. Mr. Very Smart says, how about Cloud Sprite or Thought Nibbler? Because back in my day, 1-drops with flying had drawbacks. They did. Let's look at Cloud Sprite. I remember that one. Let me try to remember. It was a 1/2, and you had an activated ability of like 1 and a blue to give it +1, -1. It's a 1 blue, 1/1 flyer. Oh no. Okay. I couldn't remember. Well, it's just a 1/1. It can't. Cloud Sprite can block only creatures with flying. But look at that picture. We got to go back to Mercadia. They got fairies over. They got fairies and merfolk over there. D tier. Super D tier. We got Tura, Benthic Biomancer. Oh yeah, that's a real card. That saw play in Standard, in Historic. It saw play in Modern Merfolk. It's a 1-mana 1/1 with Adapt of a blue and a 1. So if it has no counters, put a counter on it, and whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on Benthic Biomancer, you loot. You draw a card and you discard a card. So you can like draw into more gas, discard your garbage cards. Benthic Biomancer was a real card for a very long time. Pretty outclassed by today's standards, but not bad. All things considered. I'll give it A tier. Vitron Espada says, you might get that since we're getting to Fairy and the Multiverse of Madness soon, or Rise of the Machine. Well, we'll see what happens. See what happens. Got Christopher here just spamming cards. Not even looking. See, we did that one. We did Spectral Sailor. There's the Spectral Sailor. A tier card. The hell is this? Realm Right by Chris. 1 mana blue. Sorry, it's a 1 mana 1/1. As Realm Right enters the battlefield, choose a basic land type. Lands you control are the chosen type in addition to other types. I have no idea how you make this good. 17 cents for a rare. It's bad news for this card. It's as bad as the cloud thing sprite. Markzilla with A. Oh, you were calling out some other card? Oh, you thought Benthic You're calling out the Benthic Biomancer. Bred with the Wind Robber. Merfolk Wind Robber. A blue 1/1 with flying, which is very rare on a Merfolk. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player mills a card, which is terrible to see on this ability. I don't want to mill my opponent's cards. Sack it, draw a card, activate this ability only if an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. This is a card that looks good on the surface. It looks playable. I want it to work. But really, all I'm going to do is keep feeding my opponent's graveyards. You don't want to do that in Magic the Gathering. Well, you want to you want to feed the Tarmogoyf, the Murktide, the Gurmag Angler, the Dragon Rage Channeler. Did I say Tarmogoyf already? I'll say it again. The Tarmogoyf, the Dredge deck, the Vengevine deck. I don't know what else to explain. And that's only one format. All the people use them graveyards. What if I'm up against the Greasefang deck in Pioneer? The only thing Wind Robber is robbing is our own win rate. So it is in C tier territory. It looks playable, but it just isn't, in my opinion. DK Sovereign with the Drowner Initiate. The hell is this? It's a 1/1 Merfolk Wizard. Whenever a player plays a blue spell, I can pay 1. If you do, target player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. And here comes the D tier. Time to fill her up. D tier felt a little empty. It's gonna it's gonna start filling up. Wait, can Realm Right choose Locust? Nope. But it looks like you figured it out. The Spew Lighter! The Sphinx's Herald. I sort of like the picture. It's left a good impression on me. But it's an old card that I've never heard of, so it's probably terrible. So it's a 1/1 Vidalcan Wizard. Pay a blue, 2 generic. Sack a white creature, a blue creature, and a black creature. Search your library for a card named Sphinx's Sovereign and put it into play. And then shuffle your library. What's Sphinx Sovereign? Okay, we got to investigate. We're going to go down this rabbit hole. At the end of your turn, you gain 3 life. If Sphinx Sovereign is untapped, otherwise your opponent loses 3 life. Ah, I see. So when you are on the attack, it attacks more. When you're on the defense, you gain life. This card still sucks. You gotta play like many different colors. It's super jank. You gotta sack the creatures. What if they counter the ability? Then you're up Crap Creek without a paddle. Prodigal Sorcerer is 3 mana. Yep, that's true. Okay, hold on. We've got Arendis, Sage of what do you mean you want one of these things? Hold on, what is Sage of Epith? Oh, Epitar, okay. So we got 1 blue, 1/1. When it comes into play, look at the top 4 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. It's not bad. Like, it's a way of sculpting the top of your deck. It doesn't really do a whole lot outside of that, though. Where are we gonna put this? I sort of want to give it the B tier treatment, but I also know that this has barely saw any play. I think it saw play in some sort of mono blue deck in Legacy once in one tournament. Thoughtbound Phantasm? What the hell's that? This is a real card. So 1 blue, 2/2 with Defender. Whenever you surveil, put a counter on Thoughtbound Phantasm. As long as Thoughtbound Phantasm has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender. Oh, so if you work your way up, you turn into a 5/5 creature and start getting into the red zone. You have to surveil first. You gotta surveil for... Running out of space in the C tier, so I'm just gonna put this in the D tier. If you guys don't mind. Temulgin! Phantasmal Bear! We did not do that one. Phantasmal Bear. The show has been going for 53 minutes, and we finally get to the Phantasmal Bear. 1 blue, 2/2. When Phantasmal Bear becomes the target of a spell or ability, sack it. So essentially, it's a 1 mana 2/2, which is not terrible for blue. It's actually quite good. Because generally speaking, if you get targeted by anything, it's going to be some removal spell that would kill it anyway. So it's just as vulnerable as it usually is. I guess it gets hit by a few other things like mutagenic growth. But I can give it the B tier treatment. I love bears, so automatically an S+. The bears. Is there a bear tribal out there? 5-color bear tribal. Let's see. Sand! Artificer's Assistant. If I remember correctly, this has a beautiful picture. Artificer's Assistant. And it does have beautiful... It's a magpie. Very, very cute. 1 blue, 1/1, flying. Whenever you cast a historic spell, scry 1. It's not a bad ability. It's not too bad. Hard to use, though. B tier. Not terrible. It's useful. It's like, it doesn't hurt you. There's a lot of stuff over here it will hurt you. This Wind Robber it gonna hurt you. This thing, it's just not gonna do anything. Yo, Nikachu, have you done Sage of... Yeah, we did Sage. I believe that's here. I believe that's the Sage. Hypnotic Siren. Did we do that one? I don't think so. Hypnotic Siren. Oh, yeah! Okay, so I'm gonna, like, give... Because I think this is quite playable in Commander. So it's a blue 1/1 with Bestow for a blue 5 generic. As it can become an... Basically, it can become an aura. So either it's a flying... it's flying and you control enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has flying. So you can control your opponent's creatures. I think this is a very reasonable card to have in some sort of janky commander deck. So, like, it's an early 1-drop if you need it. But you can send... When, in the late game, when you have, like, a ton of mana, you have nothing else to do with it, you go steal somebody's creature with this guy. I guess this is where you play... Where's that jank creature that returns the creatures to your hand? This guy. You play this guy. You put your Siren Storm Tamer... Hold on, am I too big? Am I too big here? There we go. I'm gonna shrink myself. You put your Siren Storm Tamer back in your hand and recast it for the bestow cost. What the hell is a Screeching Sliver? One blue, 1/1. All slivers have target player puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Garbage. Or wait a minute, you can mill yourself, right? Target player puts the top card of his or her library into... You could mill yourself, but why would you be doing that in a sliver deck? A garbage! Garbage. We've got Reef Shaman from King Ginger. Blue, 0/2. Target lands type becomes the basic land type of your choice until end of turn. Oh, it's a merfolk. It's 0/2. It has no power. That ability is not bad, though. Okay, you can turn, like, lands into anything, and it's not even in addition to its other types. Or is it? Hold on, let's see the Oracle text. Target land becomes the basic land type of your choice until end of turn. Oh, it's not... Yeah, until end of turn. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Doesn't even have any power, so it's going to the C tier. We did the Glade Rider. We didn't do Fairy Miscreant. We actually didn't do Fairy Miscreant. So 1 blue. They're all 1. I don't even know why I even say that. They're all 1 blue around here. For a 1/1 Fairy Rogue, flying. When Fairy Miscreant enters the battlefield, if you control another creature named Fairy Miscreant, draw a card. I like this card a lot. I think the card draw is awesome. Especially if you can start, like, using ninjutsu on these creatures, and then replaying them. Sees super competitive play in Pauper. Fairy Miscreant all the way. A tier. Do we miss Delver? Delver is right up here to Mulligan. Look. Hidden in plain sight at S tier. I can see where you went wrong. You're like, do you know what? Delver's not good anymore. And you looked at, like, the A and B tier. You didn't find it and just assumed it was gone. Siren Storm Tamer? Oh, yeah, that one. Siren Storm Tamer. This is actually an insane card. This is a very, very good card. I'm very surprised this doesn't see more competitive play in other formats. So it's like, it's a blue 1/1. Oh, is it uncommon now? Was it rare? No, it was always uncommon. Oh, we need this in Pauper, people. We need this in Pauper. Please print this at common. Okay, so it's a blue 1/1 flyer. Pay a blue. Sack Siren Storm Tamer. Counter target spell or ability that targets you or a creature you control. So, for example, if someone targets you with, like, for example, what are those? Ultimatum cards. Ultimatum. So that's how I spell it. Okay, let's look at Cruel Ultimatum, for example. Target opponent, so they have to target you. And they blah, 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 they get all of this. Well, they won't target you anymore because Siren Storm Tamer says, counter it. Just absolutely counter it. Counter the whole thing. Go straight to the trash. And you can also counter any spells that target a creature you control on the battlefield. It's an absolutely bonkers card. It's a little vulnerable because it's just a 1/1, but still it's a really phenomenal creature in general. So if you're well, anything that targets you, even Gifts Ungiven, like you can counter Gifts Ungiven. Gifts Ungiven says search your library for up to 4 cards. Does it hit Intuition? Search your library for 3 cards and reveal them. Target opponent. Yeah, same thing. So if they target you with Intuition, you can counter the whole thing. You counter the spell with Siren Storm Tamer. Very unusual, like, ability. Very, very unusual. I actually like this card a lot. Probably doesn't belong in S tier. But I'm running out of space for A tier, so. Daybreak Cornet, what the hell? It's not even a creature. It's not even a creature, and it's not blue. The trolling people. Spectral Sailor, I didn't give it S tier, but I gave it A tier. It's real. It's a nice late game card, but it's still a 1 mana. It's more or less a 1 mana 1/1. Stranger Candy says, let's give my boy Rootwater Diver some love. All right. Well, I can't promise I'm gonna love it, but I'll review it. I can review it. All right, we got a 1 blue, okay, 1/1 Merfolk, sack, Rootwater Diver, return target artifact you control from your graveyard to your hand. In theory, you could bring back like Chalice of the Void and stuff like that. In theory. We got a space for you, Rootwater Diver, right here at the D tier. It's actually a pretty balanced list, all things considered. All right, that's it. That's it for Coffee and MTG today. Then that is our tier list. Thank you very much. Back to Coffee and MTG. I'm back from Philadelphia. And as usual, we're going to keep doing these Coffee and MTGs Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. Thanks so much for your support, everyone who supports the channel, becoming a member on YouTube, becoming a patron on Patreon, or everyone who also super chats. I love all of you. But most importantly, the most important thing for everybody, Martyr of Frost. Oh, we got one more super chat. Okay, let's give Martyr of Frost D tier status, and then we're gonna close it up. Martyr of Frost. If I remember, it does something weird. Reveal X blue cards in your hand to counter target spell unless its controller pays X. Yeah, I guess we can give you D tier. Sorry, not D tier. C tier. Not much room there in that C tier. See his little bit of his head over there. Most important than anything else is you guys showing up. Mark Zilla, Michael Praise, Mario, King Ginger, Ryan, Xavier, Sand. We got Cosmic Seeds, Dem, Stranger Candy, Bread, Pedge, man. Tommy Siddons. Without you guys in the morning, I got no show. I would have nothing. So thank you very much for showing up in the morning. And as usual, you keep brewing them coffees, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.